I change my domain. If I get a new domain, if you want to see what it looking like, right? You basically, if it's in GoDaddy, all you do is change the address of your domain, which is your mailbox, to that new server, and you'll get that address as soon as you pay your $20. You know, or whatever that is. Could be, might be less, might be more, 20, 30. I don't know, depending on your little features you add. But the main thing is you point your box, so that's $20. Get your domain. Some people pay what, 15, 20, right? You're in there $40 for somebody that's just don't got nothing, right? They do this. Once your domain is connected, you go inside your server to say, boom, this address is welcome. Boom, it's going to say, boom, it's connected because you pointed it from GoDaddy. So just because you put your mailbox outside, don't mean the outside knows that it's supposed to be there, right? So once that's done, a few minutes, boom, now that domain is connected. What I suggest first, create your info or at yourdomain.com, your admin at domain.com, which should take another 2 or 3 minutes inside of that server space. And at that point, you got your business email together that you're not paying for. That comes with that whole $20 because you own that whole building. And you could create 20 mailboxes because you own that whole building. So if you want to create customer service at your domain, whatever, all that, you can do it at that time. Or if you had domains that you were already using from Gmail that you were trying to migrate, you would want to emulate those. Your first name dot your domain, because if you're supposed to have incoming traffic, you're moving homes. So you want to make sure all those things you're forwarding your mailbox now, just like you would when you move your home, right? So now you go to things like WordPress. You install your WordPress, right? WordPress by itself doesn't have e-commerce, but it pairs great with WooCommerce, WOO commerce, right? WooCommerce compares with Shopify counterpart. So you got your WordPress CRM system, now you got your WooCommerce inside of it. All that's together. But since you have a whole digital building, a whole digital apartment, you can technically fit ten domains up in there or 10 tenants in there. You just don't have the knowledge yet. So let's just worry about the one domain and our one store, our one site. You know, you have that one setup. You connect your WooCommerce payments or your Stripe payments or your PayPal payments. You can list an item. Once you list an item,
Exactly.
you're in e-commerce. Once CRM system, you can customly build out. I custom build out WordPresses. So sometimes it's downloading plugins. Shopify. Well, you're still renting plugins as well. I own my WordPress plugins, all of them, 100 times over. No lies. Sometimes 1,000 times over because I buy developer licenses for unlimited sites. So may go over somebody's head. But when it comes to things like a funnel, for example, I have a plugin that I would never pay for ever again that I can implement in any site whatsoever, but it doesn't cost me anything else. So so when you're looking for plugins, that's another key for those out there that's not getting them for me for lower, right? Sometimes it's buying a developer license. So at that moment, I can install that funnel technology plugin inside of the same digital real estate that's costing this $20 a month. My bill did not change because I own the plugin, so I don't pay monthly for that neither. And and it's loaded with plugins. So, but just in that funnel technology itself can do the upsell, downsell, cross sell, order bump. So if I don't want to go to Shopify route and I want to go to the what is it, click funnels route, I just built that for a system that costs me still $20 a month that can still add more sites in this digital apartment that I own. So as far as adding a new domain, it's the same process under that same house. But when it comes to building out your digital real estate, then it's maximizing your e-commerce to the max to compare with Shopify. Then it's things about speed. Then it's things about analytics and things about all those different. You talked about print on demand or drop shipping or fulfillment or something related Alibaba. Then it's having those things. If you're drop shipping or doing if you're doing custom design products, which I've been printing for 10 years. If you write down an app called ZAKEKE, and you're trying to do fulfillment or drop shipping related to customized products, or you're in a custom print business and you need an application that turns your site to a Vistaprint or a custom drag and drop design platform for those shirts or those banners or those socks or those mugs or those whatever the case may be. But you implement those things. And so for me, I can have one server that may have 4 or 5 sites, and those 4 or 5 sites may have 30, 40 plugins each, but I'm still paying $20.
So you said Zaeke?
No, um, Zakeke, Zakeke, Zakeke. But that's for custom, products and custom design, drop shipping, the custom, items, all those different types of things. And but your since your e-commerce system and that solution is a WooCommerce, there's all types of things that extends WooCommerce from crypto payments to subscription payments to custom design products, what the app Zakiki does, all types of things. So but when you have a framework of what that $20 a month is, the hardest thing is learning how to build and manage your own server, because most people haven't harnessed the capability of taking care of the house they live in now, or the apartment that they digitally have now. So sometimes it's a build up, and sometimes it's a knowledge curve when it. But so migration is the biggest thing. You want to move your Shopify information, or at least save it, because since you don't own Shopify, I've actually had a bad experience a couple of years back with that whole scenario. But to be like my case scenario, I literally, it's probably about 9 years ago. I had multiple sites, but I had a site with Shopify, and I bought my domain with them. So paying Shopify a month and my domain I bought through them. When it comes to somebody bought something at maybe $1,300, right? But until I dealt with the case, I didn't have $1,300 to just send back until the case was actually completed, right? So for like a month, I was when you're not able to pay that fee, you're locked out of your Shopify, right? But since I bought my domain with them, you can't even transfer your domain, which is your address. So in that case scenario, I was still receiving payments because my store was active, but I can't log in to even tell people I can't see your order and things like that, and I couldn't even move my domain in a sense of that. If even at that same scenario, if you had a domain and you pointed it towards Shopify, you could have just migrated it somewhere else. But in a server instance, you would always want to learn how to migrate your stuff. But Shopify, you go to your products and you export. It's going to be in a CSV file. That means one file with all your products in it. You go to your customers, you export all your files. Go to your orders, you export all your files. You can't really export your whole theme unless it's in code and things like that. But you would definitely want to save. Sometimes it's good saving that stuff in general and keeping it on your website. I mean, on your computer, in your emails, or in your cloud or something. Because those customers, that data, those emails, those payments, your products, you don't want to have to never do those things over again. So, but in a migration sense, in a digital real estate world, you put those things in a digital truck and you drive them to your new digital real estate, and you import those products. So instantly now you have those same Shopify products in your WooCommerce store, importing through CSV file format. And then, even maybe your customers and your orders. So that's a little bit of the migration side of, moving.
Yeah, it's a little simpler for me because I do own the domain and all the products like my books, my merch. I have a storage place right here in my office, so I'm not so worried about migrating. I'm just trying to seamlessly slide over, and if I can do video, audio, and my merch off of one server. You said how much is the server space? I mean, how much server space does it allow?
See that, and that's an open-ended question. Because when you're doing video storage, that space, you literally have to delegate space for that specifically, and monitor that kind of space. Because a server crashing just in general is literally, it's overloaded with space. You got too many people, and you basically have a party, and it's too many people in that digital real estate, and the fire marshal is shutting it down. But there's technologies to prevent the fire marshal from coming in, and then that gets more advanced when it comes to load balancing and bandwidth and things like that. But managing your server, or having open servers, or some people call them headless servers. basically saying you got a backdoor to another property. So if that server gets full, this party gets too full, people going outside to the other property too. You know, and headless literally means each property has another backdoor to another property, but you don't have to pay unless somebody enters one of those properties. But, it's just that, and a load balancing is, me, basically monitoring each property to make sure, let them know when they gotta, you know, either get out or go to this place. But that's kinda, in the digital world, managing the server itself, but video capacity, server stuff is, you know, um it's up and down, but a basic server, what I'm talking about is a shared server that's probably $20-$30 a month, to manage multiple sites, but when it comes to bandwidth and size and space and video storage, sometimes, you may need specialized solutions paired with that so that your system is not compromised by videos. Even Facebook, when you upload a video for Facebook, it goes to AWS. It's viewable on their application, but it doesn't jeopardize the fundamentals of their application. It's stored on AWS. So learning how to store things one place and having the framework another place, that's when you're getting into literally building a video production or video server, versus a shared server that has multiple sites and multiple CRMs with multiple funnels on it. Those are two different things.
So, Entre, I have a quick question before we begin to wind down the room. I really hate that 202 left, or he wasn't. He must was on the phone because I really wanted to. He basically was just talking about how he was using um that just got introduced to Chat GPT, was using it for proposals, for I think it's landscaping company or something like that, and was able to go through emails to like quickly craft this. And then he was talking about how he really wanted to be able to see if he would be able to, query the address in order to get like lot dimensions so that he could provide estimates. And I said, no, that technology is available. So I was going to have you to unpack that, but maybe another time. Since he's not here, I won't have you unpack that. I'll ask you another question. And I'm hating Duran wasn't here because I never thought about a company developing an LLM that they could eventually license, but specifically to kind of improve upon like a business function or a user experience, and how that could really be solve a business problem, but also create an opportunity. But can you give me some thoughts, like how a clothing brand, particularly one that specializes in like custom clothing, can you give me an idea of how developing an LLM could support a business function that could be potentially licensed to other clothing brands? Any thoughts on it? If not, it's okay.
Yeah. So as far as the LLM, it's really about just language models in general to be able to because image models. I've been doing custom business and printing for 10 years, but as far as being able to have a technology that would go with it, I think it would be the greatest thing would be a design. So just we may talk about just these you know, i- text models, but there's video, models and code models and image models as well. Then there's multi-modals, which is, utilizing multiple of these things. But the biggest thing is, in a design space, I think it's something related to, something that would probably recreate the design itself. But I've actually seen, at a tech, I go to a lot of not AI, but um, graphic and print trade shows and things like that. And I've seen it where, instead of me going up and measure this sign or measure this car vehicle wrap, they're holding a camera to it, which is taking those relative measurements and things like that. So even those are language models, or could be language models to be able to, see the vehicle, but do those measurements. Or if it's I think that would be a computer vision model, but as far as the image model, creating new images for the graphics or for the designs or for the company, and when you train, they're called LoRa's. When you talk about image masking models, it's like different styles, like just like when you're on a lot of these image editors, when you adjust these settings to, let's just say, anime style or artistic style, people create language models that literally are different styles. So training them in people's businesses as well, with different styles, it can technically create brand and marketing material on its own, you know if trained right. You're right. And on the company's data. But when it comes to in print design, I've been creating some AI stuff, but in print business, instead of design and everything, use AI for a little help. I've been doing Photoshop forever, but even Photoshop has a lot of new AI stuff. So to be able to create your own without having to use them, that's you can if I can monetize off of just using it commercially, start learning, you create those solutions that you found good for you, and you learn how to create them yourself. You know. But a Photoshop Firefly is pretty cool. I made some banners the other day with that. Um, put your fun. I think it's free. But you put your fun in, and put your words in, and then it generates these nice looking AI texts. You can say, hey, I need bubble. Write these words in bubbles, or something crazy. And then you type in the text you need. But to be able to learn what's out there, and then it's learning how to recreate some of that technology. It's your own use cases, and if you use it for your own use cases, a lot of people might use it as well. So I think in generating patterns, you could be generating patterns. There's a lot of people that just want to buy the pattern, but it could be all types of stuff. So
Okay. That was great. Thank you so much. P Dub, are you here? Oh my God. P Dub.
you got to
You
press
got
the
you got to press
unmute
the
button.
unmute button.
Eat up.
Eat up. He's probably really busy. Popping back in and out, trying to catch you. Okay. Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Is there anyone else who have any questions for Entre?